What's up, guys? Mr. 560 here, 560 Gaming. I'm going to quickly go through my build of Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop was one of the only characters that I didn't even bother or even desire to build up. Not saying she wasn't good enough for me to do, I just wasn't focused on it. And then one day I happened to turn around and she was at, like, I had enough to get her to 6 stars. I kept getting so many bios for her from Villain Siege. It was like amazing. And she's already been 6 stars. She's already maxed out as far as her basic gear. Her skills aren't maxed out, but I'm not worried about that just yet. She's at 5 for all of them, so, well, 6 for the last one. I'll do that later. But I'm glad I haven't spent any more coin because she's the only person right now that I can advance to tier 2 with materials. And I have 2 tier 2 tickets, and I got 1 saved for Sharon Rogers, even though I fucking hate her to death. I do need her, basically need her for ABX and AC and maybe Timeline, but I haven't really dealt with her in Timeline yet. But Kate Bishop's the only one I can advance, the only one I have enough Norn Stones, Bios, Chaos Stones, and Chaos Norn Stones and Black Animated gear that I could get her to tier 2. So I haven't even been, you don't farm case bios, they just kind of give them to you. You could technically say you farm them when you're in Villain Siege, but honestly, it's a crapshoot with Villain Siege. You never know. She's the one they give out the bios the most for, but they also give out bios for everything else. And then you can get her bios in other places, like Alliance Battle or World Boss Invasion, things like that. So, it really just all depends. For me, I'm just like, I was contemplating and wondering, should I do this? I need more tier 2 characters. And quite honestly, she hasn't been doing much for me at tier 1. And maybe it's because of the way I had her built. I had an extreme obelisk on her that had a fire resist and cold resist that were like 30%. One was 35%. One was like nearly 30%. And the bonus was freeze. It just wasn't working. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta step back, and it wasn't that the obelisk wasn't good. It's just that I needed the obelisk to benefit her in different ways. So I got rid of that obelisk and I gave her this one. All right, I actually built this. This actually said ignore dodge or defense, and that was like 19%, and it was like the pink one. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to push this critical damage up. The critical damage before was 24.5 or 26 or something like that percent. It was something like that. But then when I upgraded it pushed it up to 31.3, which is really good because now my critical damage is 184. It was at 157 or something. Now it's at 184. And her critical rate is 16.76. If I send her to tier 2, this is what happens. Her critical damage goes up by 20%. So that's going to push my critical damage. It's going to max it out to 200. I believe 200 is the max. It's going to max the critical damage out to 200. The critical rate is going to go up by 20, which is going to make this 36.76, nearly 40%. Oh yeah, that's what the other thing was. It was critical. No, it wasn't critical rate on there. No, I'm not gonna lie to myself about that. I don't have anything in here dealing with critical rates because I wanted her defense to go up. So I gave her protect the captain. I manually roll now. I don't auto roll for obelisk. For sets, because you'll spend too much money auto rolling, and the game is going to continuously try to roll for sets that are best suited for your character. And you'll notice that if you go to auto, you're just going to keep cycling through till you get, if you pick 8, you're going to keep cycling through till you get 8, and it's going to always seem to bring you back to the same eights that you have until you kind of rarely hit those 1/8 that everybody decides they should get, like Power of the Angry Hulk or Overdrive or things like that. That's where you kind of learn. That's where I realized you miss out a lot when all you do is go for the obelisks that increase your attack and stuff like that. When you can just, I mean, not obelisk, the ISO 8 says that just increase your attack. When you can just, I mean, I know that she's got an ISO 8 set named right after her, but it could be named after the other guy. It could be named after them both. But honestly, you can increase her damage, her physical attack output, through other means, through ISO 8s. You know what I mean? Through Urus, like you could do that. Her defense has been severely lacking. Okay, even at the level that she's at right now, severely lacking, and it's to the point where I can barely beat any of the higher floors in Shadowland with her. And I should be. I'll be like right there, ready. They be right there, almost about to die, and then bam, she gets killed. Happens all the time. So Kate needs to be tier 2, given the fact that it's gonna give me all this. Now the money I'm not worried about because my alliance just won in alliance battle, so that 2 million that it gave me was dope, and I haven't even done my co-op runs yet. So there's a lot of missions and things that I have not done yet that I know is going to give me back this amount of money. But I was contemplating, should I do it or should I not? And I started looking, I was like, yeah, I could use that physical attack boost. I could definitely use the defensive boost. And I could definitely use the HP boost. But really it's about the criticals, because what's good is a person who has no matter how hard you build them up, a person who has low physical and energy defense, that shit is low, very low naturally, and you got them at 6 stars, 6-star ranking and 6-star mastery. A person like that, you need to look for other ways to make them impactful when it comes to their damage, because they're gonna die fast. No matter how much damage, no matter how much ass kicking they can do, no matter how great her iframes are and how she can ignore enemy targeting and this, that, and the other. The point is, when they hit her, she falls quick. You know what I mean? So, you know, you gotta kind of think about that when you're building up your characters. You know what I mean? Always keep a track of your details. And you know what? I have a video I still haven't put up yet where I just basically talk about details, reading your detail screens and how to use that to best benefit your character. But you know, I'm just trying to get the rest of her stuff up. Look at this. I gave her all these physical well, I didn't even see, I'm not even gonna do this because I'm gonna tier 2 her, so, but I didn't even amplify this Uru or this one. Oh my God, I didn't amplify any of these other ones. Maybe that's why she's liking. But all I know is getting the criticals up is going to make everything so much better. Like her Nord defense here is 1180. I'm going to change that to critical as soon as I tier 2 her. So her defense is going to go up. I'm going to get a boost in defense when I advance her. But it's the criticals. I'm going to deal with the criticals. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to rework her Urus. And I'm going to put some criticals, some critical rates in here. I'm going to give her critical rates. And you probably like, well, the critical rates don't give you much. Here's another reason why you guys probably not listening and paying attention, don't know what you're doing when it comes to this building your characters up. Just to kind of give you an idea of the percentage things. Everything that's on here that has a percentage, when you're using stuff to build them up, but you see points, you've probably been wondering, how does points convert to percentage? On average, most of the time, 90% of the time, not all the time, 1 point for a percentage thing, for a percentage stat, 1 point converts to 0.01%. Okay, that means, let's say I go into Let me go back into here, into the Urus, because I don't have anything else. Let me go into the Urus again, right? And you can see, where's it at? Here, the skill cooldown Uru. Attack speed, skill cooldown. Okay, we all know skill cooldown is by a percentage. But what percent is this? 52. Well, if you go on by the 0.01% equals the one point equals 0.1%, 10 points is 10 points would be 0.10%, 0.10%. You know what I mean? 100 points is 1%. So if she's got 50, if this is 50 points here, that's actually a 0.5%. Okay, that's 0.5% or 0.52%. So that's how you figure that out. I'm just trying to give you guys a quick breakdown of how I'm working her out. It's to the point right now that I'm not even gonna worry about her defense too much, because, you know, protect the captain, the ISO weight bonus, it's gonna raise her defense. It's gonna give her an all defense boost. All right, it's not when she's attacking, when she's hit. It's gonna give her an all defensive boost. But her criticals are gonna help her wipe out people quick. If this doesn't seem to work out good for me, I'll change it up, because you know what? I'm always gonna build her defense in here. Whenever I put in Urus, I always put in a lot of physical and energy defense. And what I really need to do is drop a few of these physical ones out and put some more energies in there, because physical characters, people who have physical moves and do physical damage, or their attacks are based off of their damage is based off of physical attacks, regardless if it's energy damage, cold damage, fire damage, electric damage. If it's based off of physical attack, their physical defense is going to naturally be higher. You know what I mean? So that's why if you look on here, her physical defense is way higher than her energy defense. And usually I'm usually good to keep both of those together, like close. So I like having my defenses close. So what I'll do is, if I'm having an energy defense issue, I'll focus more on building energy defense than physical defense. One of the great places that I'll do that is ISO weights, because points convert to points. I didn't do it here because I'm not sure why I didn't do it. I think because I didn't build this. I think I won this, or I got it in quest. So I just put that on her because it raised both of her attacks. I always put all attacks for a physical character whose attacks are based off of physical attacks, whose damage is based on physical attack. I put, if their ISO weight set has a red stone in it, I always put the red stone on all attacks, and vice versa. If it's an energy person, a person who does whose attacks do damage based off of their energy attack, I'll put this on energy and put that one on all attack. But you notice I went here and gave her the energy defense here, but I also gave her a physical attack. I'm gonna always raise her physical attack. If I get I just got this from combining enough chaotic ISO weights to get it. If this was a physical attack, I would have swapped that out. I would have just been like, oh, taking that out. If this was physical attack and dodge, I would have swapped that out. Or if it was like physical attack and or even if it was energy attack and physical defense, energy defense, I would have did that. Why? For the simple fact is I'm trying to build my energy defense up. But once again, at this point, I don't really care. So I'm just kind of like give you guys an idea. This is her combat power right now. Mind you, she's not even tier 2, and there are people who I have at tier 2 who are who we got at tier 2. That's a guy, I don't even want to count him. He's a fucking animal. You see, my tier 2s are like 169. I'm only 69 points away from my lowest, 69,000 combat power points away from my lowest T2. Oh, I didn't know he was at rank 336. The top 500. She went down in rank. Her rank was 21 and went down to 27, and I haven't changed anything on her on her setup. I just haven't been improving it either. So anyway, it's another one I need to change. She does physical damage, but all of her physical damage is based off of energy attacks. No, it's physical attack. Okay, so I need to get rid of the energy urus. I wish I could just pay to get these, to unequip these, because I would, so I could give these to somebody else. But you know, thank you, fucking Netmarble. But anyway, let me get to doing this because it's about time. It's going to be a serious blow to a lot of things that I already have, but I don't care. You deserve it. Nope, no tickets. Just advance you. Yep. Word. Share this with my alliance. For some stupid reason, my Twitter is not logged in. Anyway, this your boy, Mr. 560, Grim 560, whatever the fuck you want to call me, 560 Gaming. I hope you've enjoyed my little breakdown of Kate Bishop and why I chose to build her the way I've built her. Not why the way you would have built her, but why the way I would have built her. For whatever reasons I decided to use her for. Alright, peace.